Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is all going to be about life after marriage, the first year of your marriage, and we're going to be diving deep into the details. We're going to be dealing into the overall energy, your emotional dynamics, your communication styles, and your challenges and lessons, and the growth opportunities, and some advice from your spiritual guides in order to lead the positive and the best outcome for your first year of marriage. So I've prepared 3 groups for you to choose from, and for our first group, number 1, we have the Mystical Oracle deck with the rose quartz. Let's take a closer look at it to feel the energy. And for our group number 2, we have the Goddess Oracle deck with the Unakite. And finally, for our group number 3, we have the Angels Therapy deck with the rose quartz again. So pause this video if you need to. I'll also give you a few moments of meditation, and pick the card, pick the group or the groups that you feel the most drawn to. Go to the timestamps down in the description or in the comments below, and I will see you at the click of your timestamps. Welcome group number 1. If you chose this is all about your life and the first year of marriage. What will it be like? And rose quartz is all about love, healing, and having a good open communication. And perhaps you feel as though you need this, or if you just want to keep this stone by you, is a good option as well. So let's look into the overall vibe, the overall energy of your first year of marriage. Group number 1. So 2 cards. Peacock, raise your standards. So in the very first year of your marriage, I can see that you are both truly in love with each other, and you are both also very infatuated with each other, and you both have been raising your standards for each other, as in how you both show up as partners and how you both show up to yourself as well. So I can see that you both have been developing your personality, and you both have been growing together within this first year of marriage. So I can see that you and your partner, you're going to be very focused on personal development and personal growth. And I can see you both prioritizing not only the relationship that you have together, not only the marriage you have together, but also the relationship that you have within yourself as well. And I see that you both will be sort of like, bringing the best that you can to this marriage. And I can see you both really working hard to make this marriage thrive. And not just survive, but to thrive. And you both have been really, getting very soft with each other. You both have been feeling your best, and you both have just been feeling as though this is all just honeymoon stage still. So this is the overall vibe I'm getting, is that your love is not going to die down just within the first year, of course. I can see that you both are going to still be very much attracted to each other, just as much as you did when you first met. And maybe even better from what I can see. Like your life is going to thrive so much so that it feels as though you both are getting to know each other again, you know, even after marriage. So you both find out each other's sides of you that you both haven't been seeing before the marriage. And I can see that you both have been seeing those sides that you haven't seen before, and instead of running away from each other, I can see that you both are really much even deeper in love is what I see, you know. You both find out more of your truer, authentic selves about each other, and you both even fall in love much more, even deeper than before. So that is the vibe that I'm getting, and I can see a lot of softness, a lot of fiery energy, a lot of warmth in this marriage in the first year, this overall marriage energy. And I can see that in this Face Your Fears card, that you both are going to let go of a lot of fears that you have held on to regarding relationship. So perhaps group number one, you have felt a lot of relationship insecurity or relationship fears that you both have started to learn to let go of during the first year of marriage. So I can see a lot of insecurities, a lot of doubts, and a lot of fears about marriage and commitments sort of going away. You sort of let go of that, and you both are entering this new era of being super calm and being super composed, and also being super realistic about your fears and about your personal growth. You both realize that you are both people trying to live your best lives, and no matter if you're perfect or not, you both are still trying your best, and that's what it counts. So you both realize that, and you both are becoming really emotionally mature. And I can see within the first year that you both will be relying on each other a lot, and when problems arise, you're both going to, lean on each other's shoulders, group number one, and you're going to get that support that you need within that first year. And I can see that you're both going to face the world and face your own fears together by leaning onto each other and going to each other, and just having each other's backs is what I see. So I can see a beautiful overall energy of the first year so far. So let's really deep dive into about your emotional dynamics, group number one. What you and your spouse or future spouse, how will you be emotionally together? Group number one, how will you be emotionally together? All right, so I can see that a lot of your emotional dynamics and a lot of your emotional connections have to do with how you both handle the financial worries and burdens, and that comes a lot with your jobs. So I can see that either you or your partner is going to feel stressed about your job and your finances, right? So you're going to be each other's sort of wall, each other's rock, doing those worries and doing those financial burdens that you or your partner is going to have. And I can see that you're both going to push through it. You're not just going to give up. I can see that you and your partner are going to get through this hardship by being there for each other and being emotionally available for each other, because you both realize that you have one common thing in like that is important to you both, which is the stability. You both want stable things, and you both want emotionally available partner, and you both want to be resilient as individuals. And I can see that you are both going to be there for each other emotionally. You're going to have this love grow deeper as well while you fight through this all. And you're not going to give up on each other just because of this little challenge that you face along the way. So it is your core values and your prioritizations that is going to keep you both emotionally connected together as well, is what I see. Yeah. And I can also see that you and your partner really share this deep intuitive connection that has to do with the soulmate twin flame energy. And that means you're both going to trust in your intuition. You're both going to trust in being vulnerable with each other. And you're going to be super direct with each other. Look at how this cat is looking into you directly, right? So you're both going to talk to each other very openly and directly, but in a way that is soft, in a way that is gentle, in a way that is using the words I, such as I feel blah blah instead of you are blah blah, right? You're going to like try your best to communicate with each other within this first year of marriage, that you're going to use the right communication tools is what I see, which is going to be a win-win for you and your partner. So yeah, very gentle and very soft communication style is what I see also. And I can also see that you are both going to appreciate the sides of you that are different, right? So maybe in the past you had doubts that this marriage could last because you can be very different in certain areas, but within the first year of marriage, I can see that it's going to be a positive thing for you instead. And it's because you're going to come into understanding as you go through this life challenges that having these positive and having these like opposite traits are actually positive thing for each other, like for example, if you are feeling very emotionally burnt out, but your future spouse, right, or your spouse knows exactly what you need because they are the type of person who knows how to stay calm in an emotionally heightened state, then you're going to have this more calm and rational decision for you that is great decision for you. So yeah, this High Priestess card tells me that you're both going to rely on each other's positive traits, which are also opposite traits that you have to each other, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, I can see that you're both going to be very, very gentle with each other. You're going to be very understanding with each other, despite the differences that you thought could be a burden or could be a hindrance to your marriage, and that in turn will work out for you. Wow, wonderful. So I want to know if your love will grow deeper, and will you face emotionally ups and downs within this first year of marriage? Oh, right. I can see expansion, and I can see travel, and I can see you looking long term as well. So yeah, your love is definitely going to grow deeper, group number one. And it's the love that is going to be super rewarding as well. And by that, I mean you're going to sort of like cultivate your marriage and relationship in a way that you both become like best friends to each other, you know? You're going to get to know each other in a way that is more intimate, but in a way that is also fun at the same time. And you know how to friends, sometimes we say our secrets to our friends even more than we say to our partners, right? So your marriage is going to be like that a bit. Your future spouse or your spouse is going to be the one you will confide your secrets to, and the ones that you're going to show your deepest, darkest parts of yourself, and your future spouse or your spouse is not going to judge you for it. And I can see that this marriage is going to deepen, like have a deepened emotional connection, that you are both going to think about whether or not you're going to travel the world first or have a child first. So I can see you already thinking about children within the first year of marriage, and I can see you at least, you know, talking a bit about this child topic, as in talking about how many children do you both want to have ideally, and in what country do you want to raise your children, in what city, in what place, and if you want to travel the world before you have children, where do you want to travel, you know? So I can see you both really looking in far future ahead and really expanding your marriage life, you know? And this really comes from your emotional connection deepening, right? These types of topics only take place if your emotional connections are really in pairs, and that is what I can see for you, group number one. Wow. So yeah, so far emotional dynamics really look good as well. And I also want to know about how you will communicate with each other, how you will handle problems and conflicts together, right? All right, so I can see that you're both going to be super quick to forgive and forget, group number one, you know? And that is a great quality to have, group number one, because oftentimes if you say that you forgive someone, but you actually do not forgive someone, that actually creates resentment, right? And that's bad. And that is not for you and your future spouse. You and your future spouse are going to mean what you say by, if you say, I forgive you, you and your future spouse knows that yes, we really forgive each other. We're not just saying it just to please each other. And you're both going to forget and forgive and move on to the next. So even if you argue, even if you have problems, you're both going to solve it together, and you're both going to, you know, let bygones be bygones. You're not going to be like, all right, let's come back to this problem. You're going to be like, all right, we're done with this conversation and we're not coming back to this type of situation, right? And sometimes you're going to not agree on something, right? And I can see that you and your future spouse and your spouse is going to be like, you know what, let's just agree to disagree, because sometimes it just means that you disagree with each other, and leaving it like that is the best solution, right? Instead of trying to convince each others to think the same. So you and your future spouse, I can see that you're going to handle conflicts in a very emotionally realistic and emotionally mature ways, that you're not going to be like going back to the same problems over and over again, which is really great, because let's admit it, we don't want the problems rising again and again, right? this card popped out. Okay, so you see, this is going to show that you and your partners are going to treat each other in a very respectful way. Like, you're not going to, when you have a problem, I can see that the way you communicate is going to be super respectful to each other and still super loving to each other. And you're also going to communicate in a way that is super also like reassuring, that is beautiful. For example, like, you're arguing, let's say, but then your future spouse is going to say like, wait a minute, let's pause for a moment, and can I just say how beautiful you are? Just in the middle of the argument, you're both going to stop being mad at each other, because you both realize what's important is that it's your love for each other, and that little arguments do not matter at the end of the day, right? In 5 years, they do not matter. So you and your future spouse are going to be like, you know what? I actually think that this argument is just dumb, and this argument is just not necessary, And you are more important than this little argument. And that is how, and then you're both going to compliment each other and, like, describe how beautiful you are, how amazing you are to each other. And that is how you will handle the conflicts, and I can see that is how you will communicate to each other as well, which is just full of love, appreciation, and respect, and that is actually a very beautiful communication, group number 1. So let's draw one more card to see how you communicate. And this tells me that you are both going to communicate in the way that you will definitely always try to make sure that the other person is okay, right? You're both going to be super realistic about your challenges in your marriage, and you are both going to be very, very gentle with each other, as in you're not going to give up on each other again, and you're not going to let the arguments take over your marriage life. And I can see that you're going to really push forward with each other, and I can see that you're both not going to let each other, burnt out from this marriage. I can see that you're going to give each other space, alone time, and solitude sometimes to, take a break and come back together later to talk about what has been bothering you two. And that is how you will handle the conflicts, and that is how you will communicate for sure. So yeah, and I also want to see like the challenges that you might face in your marriage. What challenges might you face from your marriage? Okay, so the challenges can be that sometimes both of you are really fixated on making this a perfect marriage, like a very successful marriage, and you can get lost in that idea, right? And as soon as like small little trouble comes up in a marriage, like maybe you argue over the dishes, you might think that it's the end of the world, right? You might think that, wow, wait a minute, we're arguing over this, doing these dishes. Does that mean that this marriage is not going well? And then you both might get super anxious and, start overthinking. So I can see that if you both are fixated on this perfect image, whatever that you have about what perfection means to you both, that can actually bring a challenge to your marriage life. So I can see that you both really needs to have this balanced view of what marriage looks like, and just view marriage from a bit more realistic point of view, instead of looking at it as a mission to accomplish, or looking at it as something that like a problem to solve. And just realizing that marriage is complicated and that no one is perfect, and marriage cannot be perfect all the time, and just being there for each other. And the solution to this problem actually is just you and your partner just holding hands together and seeing the problem as you and your partner versus the problem. And that is how you can fight against the problem, you know? So yeah, these are the potential challenge and the potential solution as well. So I also want to know like your marriage marriage life, like happy moments. I want to see what are the happy moments. Ooh, so the happy moments are that you both are going to be very affectionate with each other, so much so that you both are going to notice each other's subtle differences in facial expressions, emotional expressions, and you're going to show up as best versions of yourselves to each other's. And I can see that if someone is feeling down, one of you is going to bring flowers, you know, and then be like, surprise. And then if someone is feeling down, one of you is going to cook a meal, nourishing meal, and then be like, surprise, here is something for you. And you both have this love language that is a bit like acts of service love language, you know. It's like showing love through actions by cooking, right? Or by taking you to somewhere nice and then doing something nice for you so that the burdens are lesser. So I can see that your happy moments are from doing the acts of service type of love language, whatever it may be for you, group number one. And if your love language is like words of affirmation, your future spouse and you are going to have those happy moments where you know exactly what to say and really comfort each other with the right words, right sincere words, right? All right, so I want to also roll a dice to see the lucky numbers for you and your future spouse or your spouse. 5, lucky number. 4, lucky number also. And 5, okay, 5 is also lucky number. So let's end this reading with the positive affirmation for your first marriage, group number 1. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. Wow, okay. And again, the fear card comes up and I can see that group number 1, you may have had a lot of doubts about marriage. You know, maybe you have been disappointed in your previous relationship, so you just are afraid if you have made the right decisions or not, or if you will make the right decision. But this affirmation card tells you, your angels are telling you that yes, choose love no matter what, and that you can really face your fears and, you know, really enjoy the fruits of your labor, and that fear is nothing and that love is everything, you know? So yeah, this is the reading that I got for you, group number 1. I really hoped that you enjoy, and leave a pink emoji if you watched until the end. Like and subscribe, let me know what you thought about it, and I will see you in my next videos. Alright, welcome group number 2. If you chose this is your reading, and this stone sodalite is all about creativity, motivation, and that passion as well. So let's check in group number 2 about the overall vibe, the overall energy of the first year of marriage. What is the vibe? Ooh. Golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. Okay, and let's take one more card to check in with the energy. High Priestess, you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So I can see that during the first year of your marriage, you're going to have abundance of luck and opportunity, and that can mean not only about the emotional connection and emotional maturity or your personal growth, but also like your careers, your friendship life, as well as your financial world. So those kind of opportunities are going to come through your doors during the first year of marriage. And I can see a lot of opportunities for you as an individual. So yeah, I can see that it's because you're going to have a marriage that allows you to be yourself truly, you know? Just because you're married doesn't mean that you don't get to do the things that make you feel happy, right? And actually the healthy marriage that is going to encourage you to be yourself even more and to go after your dreams and aspirations, no matter if you're married or tied down to someone, right? If you're free to do whatever you want, that is what healthy relationship means. And I can see that your marriage energy is giving that, like very supportive vibes, very freeing vibes, and the vibes that really allow you to enjoy what life has to offer for you. And I can see that your future spouse or your spouse is going to be there for you, and they are even going to suggest that you go out there and seek those opportunities for you. And I can see luck really working in your favor, group number 2, in order for you to enjoy these fruits of labor. And I can see that you're not going to focus just on your marriage during the first year, but also on many other aspects of your life. So if you always wanted to learn how to, you know, for example, scuba dive or learn how to swim, very simple thing, you're going to be encouraged to do exactly that. And you're going to have a lot of opportunities to get to know each other better in the ways that really make you both feel refreshed and as though you're both getting to know each other again for the first time. So you and your future spouse are going to have the first times that you haven't really shared with anyone else within the first year of marriage, is what I can see as well, group number 2. And I can also see that your overall vibe of your marriage is showing that you both are really in connections to your divines. So your angels are really pushing your marriage energy and the aura to rise above and beyond. And that means you're both going to have to listen to your intuition. If your intuition is telling you to, you know, invest in this relationship by doing a certain activity. For example, if you and your future spouse speak different language, right? And your intuition is telling you to go out there and learn that language, then learning that language will bring opportunity for you as an individual as such. And trusting that intuition is going to really help you and your future spouse or your spouse to grow together and become closer together as well. So I can see a lot of like learning. So I can see you will be doing a lot of learning, you will be doing a lot of spiritual mindfulness things. And I can see you like just savoring life together, you know? Sometimes we forget to savor the goodness in our lives and we're not really present, right? But I can see that group number 2, your overall marriage vibe is telling me that you're going to learn how to really be present in this marriage, and you're going to really learn how to really enjoy and appreciate every single person in your life through this marriage and every little thing about your spouse or future spouse, right? So yeah, this is a very beautiful energy that I'm getting right now. So I want to know, group number 2, your emotional dynamics. Are you both going to grow? And what is the love and bonding will be like between you and your spouse during the first year of marriage? Okay, the Empress card tells me that you and your future spouse are going to be very gentle with each other and very, very caring with each other. And you are going to get to know each other in a way that really requires empathy. So I can see that if you have some raw selves that you are too afraid to show to people in general, I can see that your future spouse or your spouse is going to make you feel like it's okay, and they're going to show a lot of empathy, and you're going to feel safe and protected. So I can see that, yes, your emotional connection and your love will really grow deeper within the first year of marriage, and it's going to be full with empathy. And I can also see that you're also going to think about fertility. This Empress card is a fertility card, so this is also suggesting the possibility of talking about children or having children in the future, and just, you know, like really talking about what kind of family you want to build together as well. So within the first year of marriage, you're already going to be very, very, you know, specific on what you really want as a family. Even you're going to simulate what it will be like to have a child together, even if not within the first year. I can see that you're going to just have a talk also. But this Empress card is a very big indicator that children and the topic of children will be hugely involved. So yeah, let's see. And I can also see that your future spouse sees you as a person who can be a great mother or father figure. And because of that, they really, really admire that part about you as well. So they really like, as you are in the marriage together, right? As you live together, your spouse is going to realize that you have such nurturing traits to you that your future spouse is going to be super, super grateful to have someone like you. So your emotional connection will deepen as you feel appreciated, and as your future spouse also really sees the great side of you. So your emotional dynamics, 9 of Wands tells me that you are both going to have a lot of dreams and aspirations that are outside of the marriage, and you might wonder how you will both balance it out. And I can see that you're going to give those a chance, you know? You're not going to sort of like give up on your dreams and your career just because of your marriage. I can see that you're both going to go after your career and your dreams, and you're going to always trying to be better as individuals. And I can also see that sometimes that might make you feel as though, should I prioritize my marriage life more? And yeah, but I can see that this is going to be fine because you have this vibe of being very caring marriage. So I can see that, you know, you're allowed to go on any adventures that you want, right? No matter what relationship status that you are in. So let's draw one more card to see how you will emotionally connect. Exactly. So you're both going to connect with each other by having this mutual understanding and by having an amazing, empathetic understanding towards each other. And you're both very like, you're both super kind and caring individuals, you know? So I can see that you're going to be super, super understanding of each other no matter what. Like maybe you might even have to do like some sort of long hours at work, right? And at worst it could be long distance, but then you're both going to realize that, all right, you know what, in order to have a stable and long marriage life, sometimes we have to, you know, not see each other as much throughout the day so that we can come back together and then build this stable family life together, and life that is that like one where you feel confident to be yourself in and outside of the marriage, if you know what I mean, right? So no matter what you need to give up, you're both going to understand that sometimes you might need to give up on spending just a little bit more time together to focus on your jobs, right? For example, and you're both going to be fine with it. You're both going to understand that bigger picture, like, okay, if I need to go and take a bit more time on my work, that is a bigger picture of me having more money to save for a house together, right? And or if I need to go out and have fun times with friends, that's okay, because having time apart is actually healthy, right? And so that we have time to miss each other. So you're both going to be very like mature about the time and energy that you might need to give up from time to time, right? Not every time, not always, but sometimes. So you're both going to be super understanding and very emotionally mature about it. So that is what I can see. And I also want to know about your communication style and how you will handle conflicts, right? Okay, I can see with 7 of Wands that you're both going to be super, you know, sometimes when you have fights, I can see that you're both going to really show up in a way that you really do not people please. Let me explain. So sometimes, you know, you get into fight and then you just agree just to end the fight, but you don't really agree, you know, and that actually creates this resentment, and that's not good for marriage or any kind of relationship. And you both understand that concept. So you're both going to really stand your ground. You're going to explain your side of the story, and you're not going to be like people pleasing. You're not going to agree, you know, just for the sake of agreeing. You're going to really explain your side of the story, and you're going to fight your ground, and you're going to be very determined to prove your point. And yeah, that can mean stubbornness, but that is also a very self-respecting behavior as well, right? But with the Page of Wands, I can see that you're both not going to be super egoistic about it, right? So you're not going to stand your ground if you're wrong. You're only going to stand your ground if you're right, okay? So let's say that your future spouse, right, is eating very bad food every day, drinking a lot, those kind of really bad behaviors, and you might just pass it by saying nothing, right? But I can see from 7 of Wands and Page of Wands is that you're going to tell it. You're going to be like, hey, this is not healthy for you, and I really hope that you understand my concern that your health really matters, not only for yourself but for our marriage together. And how about, you know, having children in the future? You need to be healthy for that, and you're going to be super firm on that boundary, and you're going to be super firm on that advice and opinion, right? But if you're wrong, I can also see that if you're wrong, you're both going to be super firm about it as well. Be like, you're right, I was wrong, and then that would be finished, you know? You're both going to be super positive and optimistic after every fight because of that. Because you both know what is right from wrong, that you both know when to speak up for yourself and when to, you know, admit that you are wrong. So I can see that you both have this very good self-awareness, which really keeps you both still very positive and playful with each other, even if you're communicating a very difficult thing. And I can see that if you have some sort of problems, I can see that you're both not going to be super serious about it. You're both going to be like a friend, like a friendly tone, and you're both still going to play with each other, you know? You're both going to be like tickling each other afterwards to, you know, ease those tensions down, and you're both going to be super affectionate with each other after every conflict, because at the end of the day, you both know that you both care for each other. So that is how you will communicate with each other, and that is how you will sort of like, you know, handle the conflicts together as well. And Seven of Cups really tells me that you and your future spouse or your spouse are going to be like very open-minded. Whenever you are communicating, you're both going to communicate in a way that is very, very open-minded, and that is very, very, you know, free of ego, if that makes sense, right? And also you and your future spouse, you have a lot of like great ideas, you have a lot of like great ways of thinking. I can say that you and your future spouse are very creative people. So the way that you communicate is by proposing like possibilities to this solution, to this problem, right? You will see a lot of many different causes, many different solutions to this one problem, and you both are going to like present the solutions to each other, and you both are going to be fighting against this problem together. And yeah, I can see that you both are going to be very, very good lovers in the ways that you both really wanted to go away by really like thinking about, okay, how should we solve this problem together? So the way that you communicate is very like open, out in the open, and you will just know that you both have each other's best interests, no matter how much conflicts that you may have. But I don't see a lot of conflicts going on, you know, based on this dynamic. I can see that you are both very very empathetic people. So all right, so I want to see like what kind of things, what challenges and lessons you will learn from the marriage during the first year. Okay, so during the first year of marriage, I can see that you're going to have a lot of lessons about the money and stable things. And I can see that you are both going to learn about taking opportunities. So I can see that, you know, you're both going to realize how opportunities are hard to come by, and you're both going to learn to accept the opportunities as soon as they come. And by that I mean, even if you have opportunity to go on a date, that is amazing, but then you both feel lazy, right? And to go out, and you don't take that opportunity to go out, and then you don't bond with each other, right? That would be bad. And you both realize that concept, so you both are going to go out there and really take that opportunity, and you're both not going to procrastinate and go out there and really take this date to make it your own, and then make this date the most romantic date ever. And then that will really bring that new emotional connection you have with each other. And yeah, I can also see that you both are going to focus on like your business and your career a lot as well. So I can see you both trying to make, like, you know, like with marriage, there's always going to be topics of savings, money, and buying a car, and saving for children. And I can see you and your spouse are going to really focus on that for the big things in life, and you're both going to realize these lessons early on, how important it is to save early on from the first year of marriage. And you're going to do that, is what I see. And that is good, you know, you're both being very smart and wise about it, about the practical things. And I can also see that sometimes you might get burnt out by working so hard, right? And that means you need to both really relax and take a moment of meditation, take a moment of alone time. So I can also see that in your marriage, you're both going to realize the need for alone time. Marriage comes with a lot of spending time together, because you're going to live under the same roof. You're going to always see each other's, and you're not going to have that alone time as frequently as you had when you were single, right? So you realize that in your first year of marriage, the need for alone time, and you both are going to be like, hey, let's try to, take alone time and understand that need and give each other alone time. And I can see that you're both going to give that space for each other. You're both going to respect each other's boundaries on that. And it's actually a great thing to have a alone time. Wonderful. So I can see that the lesson that you will learn in the first year of marriage is that love is the most important thing that you and your future spouse is going to have to focus on. No matter how life throws you challenges, no matter how busy you are, trying to save money, work on your business and meet friends, work on your dreams, no matter what, no matter how many conflicts you have, and no matter how alone times you need, all it matters is that love that you share for each other, and you both are going to really build that solid foundation based on your love that you have for each other. And you're both going to really grow that love into something that is more stabilized, which you're going to add that love foundation into respect, right? A hint of respect. And you're going to add more, something like alone time, boundary respecting, and appreciation for each other. You know what I mean? Like you're going to add love with other things that really just stabilize it, that really grounds your love together. So that is going to be the lesson that you will both learn for each other. And I also want to know your lucky numbers. 4, 6, 3. Those are your lucky numbers. You can go on dates on those numbers. And let's end this reading with the affirmation. What do you need to hear from your angels? Group number 2. Okay. I choose to learn through love. Wow, exactly. So that really makes sense, right? Like all it matters is love. And as long as you have love for each other, respect for each other, and the basic foundation, then that's all that matters in this life. And I can see that no matter how hard you'll be focusing on other aspects of your life, you're always going to come back around together because you both really, prioritize love the most, like marriage, family the most in your lives. Okay, last card. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So yeah, I can see that your angels are really recommending you that taking alone time during marriage can really benefit your marriage life, and that you can do a lot of kindness meditation to work on yourself, work on your soul, and be in touch with yourself as well. So yeah, this is what I see in your reading, group number 2. And let me know what you thought. If you watched until the end, leave blue heart emoji and let me know what videos you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next videos. Hello, group number 3. If you chose this is your reading for the first year of marriage. What will it be like? And let's get right into it. So the rose quartz is all about love, healing energy, and let's dive into the overall energy, right? What is the overall vibe of the first year of your marriage? Okay, ear chakra. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words, both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. So within the first year of your marriage, I can see that you are both going to really enjoy having each other's to talk it out, you know, having someone that will listen to you sincerely, and having someone who really understands your struggles, who really understand your side of the story, having your person, right? And that is going to make you really feel safe, make you feel really heard, make you feel really, really sound asleep. And it is going to make you feel like, all right, finally I have my person that I can go to for, you know, just letting it out. And I can see that you're both going to have amazing times, and you're going to have the overall energy of being so warm with each other. And I can see you both sort of like cuddling in bed and then falling asleep soundly. So that is the vibe that I'm getting. And let's draw one more card to check the vibe, overall vibe of your first year. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. I can see that in your first year, you're both going to be expressing your love by really, really showing through your love languages, right? And I believe that group number 3, your love language might be words of affirmation, right? You like hearing with your ear about beautiful things, sincere words, and sincere compliments, or just someone who is there to listen to you and tell you how amazing you are. And I can also see that one of you has this love language of acts of service as well, and physical touch. So those are the love languages that I see, that I can see the overall a vibe of the first year being super physical, super, you know, emotionally available and intimate, and being super into each other physically as well, and also, you know, making efforts to show up for each other's lives. And I can see you both sort of like even dancing around and doing things that make you feel really soft and energetic. And I can see that you both might like to dance together or sing together. Music or something that comes from music, words or songs might be ways that you express your love. And this overall energy tells me that you both are very romantic. I can sense like poetic lover trope kind of things going on. Yeah. So I want to also know about your emotional dynamic, like your emotional connection during this first year. How will you and your partner connect with each other during the first year? 7 of Swords tells me that you and your future spouse is going to really go through a tough time in your life, where you both are dealing with people who has really been taking advantage of your kindness and your resources. So someone might be getting away with being being a liar, or being a cheater or a betrayer. And that has to do with someone outside of the marriage group number 3. So, and because of that, your marriage is going to need a lot of like emotionally being there for each other, right? By listening to each other and really hearing each other out. So, and I can see that because of this incident, right? Someone taking your money, or just a friend not being good friend to you, someone just doing you wrong, you or your partner wrong, that incident is going to really push this marriage to be stronger, right? And that means that incident is going to show exactly what type of person your spouse is, what type of marriage this is. And you are going to see that your future spouse is going to be there for you, like, be like, you know what, this person really did you wrong, and I'm going to be here for you. What do you need, right? And do you just need me to listen? Then I will listen. That kind of vibe is what I'm seeing right now. And let's see, what else do we see? Seven of Pentacles tells me that you and your future spouse is actually, working really hard in order to have this marriage to be a stable thing within the first year. And that comes a lot with trying to balance between work and the marriage. So I can see that you and your future spouse is going to be like, all right, so do we need to set time apart in order to focus on our jobs? And do we need to give more time to our marriage? Which one is it? And you both are going to be really, really, talking to each other openly is what I see, by trying to figure out what works the best for you, right? Because I can see that one of you might be working at a job that requires a lot of commitment, and I can see that is going to require a lot of communication in order to make it work, in order to have time for you together as couple, right? After you finish your jobs, for example. So yeah, I can see that you and your spouse is going to really be talking about, like structuring your days better. That is what I see. And this is entirely like realistic, It's something that you really need to discuss and negotiate and compromise as such. So what else do we need to know about your emotional dynamics? And this is telling me that you and your future spouse and your spouse, you're going to be super striving toward your love to be deeper. I can see that you and your future spouse are in the same boat, as in you both are going to give it your best, right? I mentioned about you both trying to find what works the best for you, the structure of your day, and I can see that you both are going to do just fine. You both are going to find that balance that you need, and you both are going to show up for each other, and you both just have this emotional connection that really transcends these day-to-day struggles. And you both have this emotional connection with each other that you are both like homes to each other within this first year. And I can see that you both are even going to think about expanding your family, and you both are going to make time for not only yourselves but also for your respective families as well. I can see that you both are going to go to visit your families together, play games together, bond with each other families is what I see also. And that in turn is going to really deepen your emotional connection that you have with each other. And I can see that you both are going to also, if you didn't have like wedding after you sign the papers, I can see that you both are going to try and save money in order to afford a beautiful wedding that you will have together. And I can see that it's going to be a private wedding. It's going to be an intimate wedding instead of a wedding that is super big and expensive. You and your spouse is going to have a wedding that is just intimate but also still very beautiful wedding. And I can see that you both are going to enjoy doing the first year trying to figure out how to really delve into each other's daily routines, because I can see that you have routines that are a bit different from each other. You might be like a night owl and vice versa, right? And I can see that you both are going to try to balance it out as well. So I also want to know about your communication. How will you communicate with each other? How will you handle the conflicts? Group number 3. Two of Swords tells me that your conflicts are going to be about you and your spouse being very indecisive about things. And I sense a lot of young energy, group number 3. It might be not literally young, but like mentally young. And I can see that it's because you have certain experiences that you may have been lacking. And because of that, there might be some indecisions about how you handle things, and that might lead to conflict. So I can see that being the potential conflict in the marriage, which is actually not really a big of a deal, you know. Indecisiveness is actually what all of us experience, right? So I want to know how you can resolve that and how you will communicate to each other. Nine of Pentacles and Justice card tells me that you and your spouse are going to be very like realistic about how you deal with the conflict by really looking forward, looking inward, you know, looking inward as in, all right, so we have this flaw, right? We have this flaw of being indecisive. So what can we do to improve ourselves? So I can see that you both are going to find a solution by brainstorming together and being fair to each other, because you both realize that no one is perfect and you both are going to be so kind to each other. And I can see you both are going to be like structuring your days with a bit more discipline, right? You're going to create the sort of like being a bit more of a planner instead of a spontaneous worker in order to deal with the indecisiveness, right? And you're going, for example, indecisiveness doesn't have to be super big problem. It can be like not knowing where to go out for eating, right, together. And you're both going to be like, all right, you know what? Let's flip a coin. And you're both going to develop this sort of like specific discipline that really will help you both make decisions. And you both are going to tap into your mature and wise side of yourself. And you both, I can see that you both are going to deal with conflict very gracefully. You're not going to be shouting at each other, you know. You both are going to use your soft voices. You both are going to be taking it easy because you both realize that it's not that serious, and you both are going to be fair to each other. You both are like, you know what, my spouse, you know, they tolerate my insecurities. They really make me feel like I'm perfect, even though I'm not really perfect. I can do the same for them. So you both are going to have this very mature perspective about each other. And also I can see like this Nine of Pentacles tells me about the fertility as well. So within your communication, I can see that you're also going to be talking about babies. And actually in all the groups, baby topic comes up. So I can see that, yeah, group number 3, we're all taking this very seriously, and the baby topic is always going to be done within the first year of marriage. That is for sure. And yeah, and the Justice card actually tells me that you and your future spouse or your spouse really has this ability to really see from outside of the box, right? If you're both having conflicts and minor arguments, you realize that this is actually not even this is not big of a deal, and it's coming from a place that you cannot control. So let me explain. For example, you know, you might be feeling really angry and you might take it out on your spouse, but then your spouse is going to be like, wait a minute, are you sure that your hormones are in place, as in like PMS, right? And your future spouse is going to, and then you're going to be like, yeah, wait a minute, you're right, I'm really like on PMS, and that is why I've been feeling like not myself and having this frustration that comes out of nowhere. And then I can see a lot of self-reflection as well. So when you are both having conflicts, you're both going to be reflecting on yourself, and you're both going to be like, all right, you're right, I might be having like these hormonal changes, or you know, like, or you had a busy day and then you take it out on your spouse, and then you'll be like, you know what, I think it's because you had a busy day and you're taking it out on me. And then your future spouse will be like, you know what, you're right, something like that, right? You both are going to take ownerships to each other's problems and to each other sort of like flaws when it comes to having these arguments that come from having just just from being a human, you know. And actually that happens with me too, you know. When I am on my PMS, I always turn into this angry werewolf, and I sometimes take it out on my husband. And then he tells me that, wait, you check your calendar. And then I check my calendar, and sure, indeed, I am on PMS. And that actually happens to a lot of couples that I know. So I know that it's not only for me. So yeah, this is also going to happen for you. I don't see like big conflicts, you know. Group number 3, that is the point that I'm making. I don't see very big conflicts. I see like very humane, natural, small little arguments that you might face. So yeah, I want to see, whoa, wait a minute. This is burning, I might need to change it. Okay, rip my cloth. I'm gonna need to clean it out. So yeah, so to continue, let's go into what challenges and lessons you might learn from the marriage, group number 3. All right, the sun, challenges and lesson. Oof. Okay, the sun card is actually indicative of fertility, right? This little kid is indicative of fertility and children. And I can see that this card is mostly like very, very positive and something that is very, very happy and bright thing. So I can see that the lesson that you will learn together is like you're both going to sort of like come to an agreement on like children, the number of children or a child that you want, and you're both going to agree on it. And I can see that your spouse is going to be super understanding, you know. Your spouse is, especially if you are a girl watching this, group number 3, I can see that your future spouse is going to be like, you know what, it is your body, it is your choice, and no matter how many children, or no matter if you want to have children or not, it is up to you. And I can see that even if you do not have children together, I can see you both like eventually adopting a child as well. And that is how understanding your spouse is going to be about this child topic. And I can see that through that, you're going to learn that the best thing that you have in this life is that your future spouse or your spouse understanding, you know. And I want to see what other lessons or challenges that you might learn. Okay, so 5 of Cups tells me this challenge is going to involve some grief and loss and disappointment. So I know that this is scary, group number 3, but don't worry. This card is telling me that it's going to be either a part of you that you need to grieve, you know, for example, a part of you that has been having fun, right, before the marriage that needs to be let go of, and you might feel sad about it, you might feel like grief over it, because you know that less mature version of you has to be gone now because of the marriage and the commitments that you have now within the first year of marriage. So this is the challenge that I can see you that you need to be like dealing with. Or it can be like, you know, losing some sort of friendship. When you enter a marriage, sometimes we lose some friendships not because we don't care about our friends, right? But because we have a lot of other things that we need to give our attention to, and that includes our marriage, our partner, our work. And I can see some like friendships fading away, and I can see that within the first year of marriage, that is going to be something you need to be grieving over, like losses of some friends going away. And you know, this is sad, and I have also experienced this myself, but it's okay, it's all going to be fine. And the Sun card actually confirms that it's going to be fine, and even if you face that, you know, disappointment, everything is going to be fine. So the Tower card, wow, okay, so I can see that you're going to, like, within the first year of marriage, you're going to have a lifestyle that is completely different from how you were when you were single. So remember what I said about how if you were a night owl, you might have to adjust your lifestyle. So yeah, I can see that your lifestyle is going to be adjusted according to your spouse, and a bit like in the middle ground, you know, it doesn't have to be according to your spouse. It can be something you and your future spouse can work out, something in the middle. So I can see that all of those things are going to shed away, and this is actually a very good sign. Actually, I can see that it's going to be the lesson for you to learn, as in learning how to build a family on your own, because you're going to be living together with your spouse. So having a place together, that is going to have a lot of, you know, lessons to learn from, you know, adjusting to someone else's behaviors. And I can also see that you're going to start from scratch. So if you did not live together before marriage, I can see you're going to live together after you get married, and that's going to completely change the way that you live. And that just means like something very normal, you know? So yeah, let's see what else do we need to know. 10 of Pentacles, okay, it tells me that there is nothing to worry about. And you know, the Tower card being here just means that your single life is shedding and the married life is taking place. And that the lesson to be learned is that you are going to create this beautiful, happy, fulfilling married and family life on your own. And I can see you even like having pets, or even like talking to have pets together before even having a child, I can see. So yeah, and let's see your lucky number, group number 3, 7, 3, 5. So yeah, and take it like a lot of challenges can be moving in, finding places to move in, right? It doesn't have to be super emotionally distraught challenges. Okay. Hope is the conduit for miracles. So this is telling you that you might be very taken aback by the Tower moment, as in moving from single to married life, completely changing. You might be scared, but no worries. Everything is going to be fine, and that you're going to experience the family life that you have always wanted, and you can always manifest the one. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Yeah, exactly. So this marriage I can see is going to be one where you're not going to be like just like this, but you're going to go on an adventure, like emotionally as well, up, down, but it's not because of your spouse, it's just because of the way that your life is working, right? The way that your life cycle goes. And it's exciting, right? If life is like this, then we have really nothing to be looking forward to. But if life is like that, then we can appreciate the ups because we have experienced the downs, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is the end of your reading, group number 3. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what videos you want to see next. If you watched until the end, leave yellow heart emoji, and I will see you in my next videos. Thank you for watching.